so many people. I think your session filled up first, Patricia. So tell us a really important topic that people are really interested to learn about all the new products, and thank goodness we have so much new technology in compression garments. Patricia has years of experience. You're probably well familiar with where she's working, and has lots of expertise to share with you. So, over to you, Patricia.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you. So just first of all, I'd like to thank BCLA for inviting me. Sandy came in, I don't know, this September, convinced me to do a night garment presentation on Zoom. And then she's like, well, since you did that, can you do this? So I was absolutely, I was part of the original board. I was a BCLA secretary many years ago, probably about 15. Has BCLA been around that long? I think so. So I'd just like to thank them for inviting me back. So my topic is obviously fundamentals for selecting compression garments. Just a bit about myself. I am a registered nurse, graduated from good old UBC many years ago. 35 plus years in the home healthcare business. I am a certified expert, advanced, whatever you want to call it, garment fitter. I'm also certified for the Olympic Press from Nova Scotia, mastectomy fitter, and I have been owner, operator, jack of all trades, bathroom cleaner, alongside with my husband. I've been married to him for 30 years. We haven't owned BC Medicgroup for 30 years. BC Medicgroup's been about 15 years. So just a quick overview. I'm just going to talk about the basics. Shopping by brand and style, compare and contrast some common features, maintenance and self-care, and then the best practices and some red flags you should be aware of when choosing a garment. I do have to apologize. I have notes. I have a quick little story. My daughter says, "Don't worry, Mom, I'll do your PowerPoint for you." Okay, yeah, where's my PowerPoint? Like on Microsoft? Oh no, I did it on Canva. What the heck is Canva? So I said, don't worry. I said, well, where are my notes? Oh, we don't put that. I'm like, so I have a paper. So I've gone old school and new school. So choosing the correct garment, we want to make sure that we're dealing with a trained, certified fitter or someone who's been around for a long time. You want to choose something that is based on your age, your mobility, your size, the shape of your limb, your skin, or if you have any wounds. So all these factors need to be taken into consideration. You want to choose a quality garment. So most garments have a two-way stretch. So that means it stretches vertically and this way. They should be graduated. Does everybody know what graduated means? It's tightest up the furthest away, and then as it goes up the limb, it's less. It should have, the horizontal stretch does the work of the garment, so it contains the swelling, and then the vertical stretch just helps put it on and get the garment on properly. Okay? The other thing is you want covered elastomers. So yesterday, I was reaching through my sock drawer. I was like, oh, I need a pair of compression socks. I grabbed a pair of compression socks. I had a heck of a time putting them on. I'm like, what is wrong with these socks? Wore them, got them on, got home. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta take these things off. I don't have lymphedema, I don't have any, I just have standing and sitting all day compression. And I noticed that these are one of the oldest pairs of socks I have, and they were not covered on the inside. So those went in the garbage. I don't know where I got them from. I don't know what brand it is, but I see some manufacturers here. It wasn't any of you guys. So elastomers cover the threads. It makes it easier to put on. It makes it softer to the skin, and it helps with skin care as well because you don't have this kind of like rubber band touching your skin. Okay. stockings that don't have covered elastomers are much cheaper because there's less manufacturing went into it. So people say, oh, I had spent $19.99. Why are yours so expensive? Well, that's one of the reasons. Okay. So certified fitters at a quality store should only be selling covered elastomers garments. Okay. Sizing. So there is no one size that fits all. So people will tell me, well, I got a pair for my friend because she doesn't wear them anymore. Or my grandma's socks still fit me. So no one size, no one brand, and no one style fits everybody. So everybody's an individual. No arms are the same and no pair of legs are the same. So your left leg could be different from the right leg. Hopefully you will fit into the same pair. But if not, you would have to buy a pair for the right leg and a pair for the left leg. Okay? Shapewear. So I thought I would just add this because of all the stuff that's on the internet. Everybody's selling Knix and Spanx and this and that. They're not the same. So compression is medically graded. It has in millimeters of mercury. That's how it's measured. Shapewear does not. Shapewear squeezes supposedly equally. Okay. Whereas compression is tightest at the furthest, and then as it goes up the leg, it's less compression. Compression is generally for health conditions. Shapewear is for cosmetic purposes. I do admit I have told people to go buy some Spanx if they're wearing thigh highs and they get the little muffin top, right? Just to smooth the look, but they don't replace compression garments. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. So famous compression levels. It says their doctor's prescriptions usually recommends this. There's no doctors in there. They rarely know what strength to prescribe. So you kind of go into your doctor's office, you discuss, okay, I have this problem, and they'll say, okay, I'll write you a script. What strength do you need? So most of the manufacturers have a pre-printed prescription pad with all the indications for and the contraindications against. But in BC, I don't know about across Canada, 20 to 30, which is a class 1, does not need a prescription legally. Okay? Where you will need a prescription for 20 to 30 is if you plan to claim it on your extended call. Okay? So they need that doctor's prescription to reimburse you. So anything above, so class 2, 3, and 4 requires a doctor's prescription, because when you put that on a limb that has other conditions, you can actually cause that condition to be worse. Okay? The only time a 20 to 30 needs a prescription is if you're diabetic on insulin. Okay? Normally, lymphedema goes into a 2 or a 3, but if you've never worn compression, to put you in a 2 or a 3 right away, a lot of people will curse me at night. They will be like, this is too tight, I'm not wearing it, and I'd rather start you slow than put you into the textbook classic 40 to 50, because you'll never wear it. You have to work up to your tolerance. Okay, so keep in mind, the higher the pressure, the harder it is to put on and off. But everything else is the same. So your measurements are the same, your care is the same, your replacement is the same. Higher compression doesn't mean a different garment, it just means a tighter strength. Okay? And then the main thing is compliance. I know people don't like that word, but you have to wear something. So let's get you into something that you're going to wear versus something that everybody tells you you should wear. So the brand, I do apologize, I did miss Solidea, yeah. They're new, but they're not a medical grade compression sock yet, but those, and Joe's has now changed their name to Essity. To Essity. Essity is the new word for Joe's. So those are your main manufacturers for Canada. Did I miss anybody? I got them all? So you can shop by brand. You've always worn Juzo, you've always worn Sigvaris. You can stick with Sigvaris, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go, you know, I have a pair of Juzos, I want Sigvaris, or I want Essity. You can do that too. You can mix and match. You can have a whole drawer of a variety of brands. They're all high quality companies. So not one is better than the other. They all have different options, different colors, different patterns. You know, I had a customer who wanted a leaf pattern. What the heck, what do you need a leaf pattern for? It was in my head. And I had to remember who makes a leaf pattern, and it was Medi. So we made her a Medi sleeve. So it was actually quite great. Tattoos. If you're into tattoos, and obviously you can't tattoo your arm or your leg, or you shouldn't. A lot of the companies make beautiful patterns on their arm sleeves or legs. Before that was available, I sold a pair of 503 knee highs to a big guy who was a biker dude, and he was a tattoo artist. And when I went to go, I was like, "Where's your sock?" Because I'm wearing it. He had taken Sharpies and made his own tattoo on the 503. You guys know what I'm talking about. On the 503, and it looked beautiful. So it was amazing that he could just do this art on this sock. So the brand is whatever you feel comfortable wearing. It's working for you, and it meets your price point, because everybody has different price points. Generally about the same, but some are less expensive than others. So you can shop by style. So you usually go above the swelling. So if you have swelling in your ankle, you go to the knee. You have swelling in your thigh, you gotta go above the swelling. So that's length dependent. My daughter was very proud of herself that she put at least one of each manufacturer on here. You know, open toe or closed toe. Open toe generally comes in a beige or black. Some do come in different colors, but I generally beige or black for open toe. Closed toe come in a whole slew of patterns and colors and fabrics and stuff. You can go with a pattern, you can go plain, you can go with a silicone border. You can get a silicone border on a thigh high or on a knee high. Most arm sleeves have a silicone border, unless you go to one with a strap. And then the main thing is your containment. So what I say is, the thinner the fabric, the prettier the fabric, the less containment you have. So they're beautiful, but they're very sheer, and they're not going to contain your swelling. But you got a party to go to, you're wearing a nice pair of shoes, you want to look like that, you can do that. The other thing that you can do is you can get regular fancy nylons and wear them over top of your medical grade compression, and then you turn these beige into black. Does that make sense? Okay. So the big question is off the shelf or custom. So off the shelf is, they're readily made, they're easily accessible, you fit into a size chart on the back of the box, and there you go, you have it. They're available, like I said, in many colors and many patterns. They're easier to fit from a fitter's perspective, because it's right here. Okay. Custom. Now, just recently, we have been able to get flat knit off the shelf. Not my favorite, because they're a little bit hard to fit and measure. because a custom made garment is like a second skin, and you and I may be a size 2 on here, but our arms are way different. So it's a little bit of a challenge to fit an off-the-shelf flat knit garment, okay? A custom garment is recommended for many reasons when you don't fit into off-the-shelf. If your limbs are, you've got a beautiful ankle and then you start to flare, or if you have bulges somewhere, or too much swelling in the calf, or too much swelling in here but not a lot here. So when you're just not proportionate, okay? Lymphedema, you can fit into the off-the-shelf or the custom. It depends on the type of the fabric. And what you have to keep in mind for a custom is you have to give yourself extra time to be measured, okay? And they're made specifically for the shape of your limb. Any questions or anything so far? Okay. The fabric, so you can go to a soft fabric, which is, most manufacturers have a softer version. Very, very comfortable to wear, but it won't contain your swelling, as well as the more rigid fabric, okay? Both of these are circular knit, so circular knit is, there's no seam in here. So it's made on a tube, knit one, purl one. They take off stitches and they add stitches to get the shape of the garment, but there's no seam in here. So this is not a flat knit garment. The other thing you have to consider with the fabrics, if you have any allergies, most of the garments are latex free, but keep in mind that some garments out there still have a little bit of latex in them. Some people are allergic to the silicone, so you can get a garment without the dots. We can put little patches so that there's less touching the skin. You can use the famous It Stays body glue that washes off with water, or you can use a strap if you have a silicone reaction. In a thigh high, if you have a silicone reaction, you either go to a pantyhose, or you wear biker shorts over top, or you can use the silicone garter, or if you can use garter belt. Okay. Okay, so this has been the question of the day. So as Dr. Brown said, he had no idea what garment to put you in. And fair enough, we don't know, we don't do his job. So circular knit garments are less dense, they're not as stiff, they're generally come standard sizes. You can custom make a circular knit garment. That's if you don't fit nicely into the size chart on the back of the box. Generally used for someone with a normal shaped limb, so nothing too crazy in a size or a different shape. It's very comfortable. I had a lady come in the other day and she complained of the bending. I'm sure anybody who's wearing an arm sleeve, that's your number one complaint, and the tourniquet at the wrist. So I said to her, so what do you do all day? She goes, well, I type. So the computer, like all of us. So well, you gotta go get, either you have to change your sleeve, or you have to go get one of those fancy keyboards where you can keep your arm more straight. So she opted for the keyboard. So more comfortable, mild to moderate containment, and like I said, way more colors and options and funky things that you can do with a circular knit garment. Flat knits, they have a seam. That's the giveaway. So basically we take all your measurements, we send them off to the manufacturer, and this is a simplified explanation. They take their fabric, they cut it just like a dress would be made, and then they seam it up, they stitch it up the back, or the outside of the elbow, or the inside of the arm. So that's how you tell the difference between a flat knit and circular knit. With this kind of garment, we can fit almost any shape, pretty much. And if one manufacturer can't do it, another one's right behind them that can. So it's whoever gets the facts, right? Some fabrics, most of them have, there's like a honeycomb, and they provide a micro massage weave to the lymphatics at the top. It's like a second skin, so as you're doing your daily activity, this is working to massage the top layer of the skin. When you put a circular knit garment on and you stretch it up the limb, I call it the sheerness, there is a real word for this, but I have no idea what it is. It's not the same color, even though we try to make it the same color, but if your arm is bigger up here, the shade of beige will be like more sheer. This is the same density all the way through. So it's the same color, same shade of beige or black or whatever color you're choosing. What else? Oh, if you have multiple skin folds, if you have, some people have a pocket of lymphedema somewhere that we have to get around it, this is the only way. Otherwise, when you put a circular knit on it, underneath that pocket, you will get a tourniquet effect. Okay?
Can you put a zipper in the flat knit?
You can. You absolutely have to. I'm not a fan of zippers because you need 3 hands. So you need to close up the fabric, then make sure all the tissue gets tucked in, and then carefully zip. So you can in certain circumstances, but if you can get the garment up to here, or if you can get the garment past we call it the Y measurement, which is the heel, you can pretty much get it up the rest of the way. That's the hardest part to get it through.
A zipper's good for taking a stocking off.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly. Especially
Any other questions on this? Any questions?
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
So Dr. Brennan mentioned that for anyone post-axonal dissection, for the first year to use compression. So I guess is it like flat knit versus circular? Is it dependent on their size then, I guess, like the shape of it mainly?
It's the shape of it.
Okay.
If the doctor, like if I get a script from Dr. Weiss or Dr. Brown and he underlines flat knit, that person's getting flat knit.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna get a phone call.
Yes. Okay.
But if they're like flat knit or circular knit or just 30 to 40 post-surgical, it's basically whatever can fit in there. But usually post-surgical, they should be in flat knit.
Oh.
But it also depends how fast they need it. Because flat knit is custom, takes anywhere from 7 to 10 to 14, sometimes 21 days. Okay. So just some things that every fitter, if you're going into a store, they should tell you how to do this. So it's wash and dry your garment daily, gets rid of the oils, snaps it back to its original shape, prevents you from getting an infection. Some brands are machine wash and dry, some brands are hand wash and dry. Some people will tell you this is the only soap you can use, but if you're paying $300, $400, $600, $700 for a garment and then asked to buy a $20 worth of soap, that's a little hard to swallow sometimes. You can just use regular bar soap, just nothing fancy, no woolite, no zero, no bleach. Nothing with a harsh chemical in it. That's why bar soap with like the good old Camay or Ivory or whatever it's called nowadays. Nothing with an antibacterial in it, the little beads. Just plain old bar soap.
I'm glad I couldn't find zero anymore. I thought, oh, I'll go buy zero. Oh, I can't find it. So
Good.
glad.
The reason is those softeners soften the fabric. So it's softening the containment. But I mean, you can buy it, and honestly, the manufacturers all sell their own soap, and the soap will last you a very long time because you just need a few, like a half a cup full of stuff. but don't get hung up on it. Like, wash your socks. If you're out of your soap, doesn't matter, wash your socks. And then just with regular washing, it keeps the garment clean, gets rid of all the sweat, the oils, and keeps it healthy to keep your leg healthy or your arm healthy. Make sure you know how to put it on and off. So unless it's a repeat order, no fitter should just say, here you go, try them, you're on your own. Put them on, take them off. This is how you put them on. You need rubber gloves. I know everybody hates those rubber gloves, but you need rubber gloves. It prevents you from putting your hands through the garment, which you just spent a lot of money on. And it helps distribute the fabric evenly up the leg. You should wear your compression all day. So put it on in the morning, technically before you get out of bed, but we all know that's not possible. So unless you have immediate swelling when you get out of bed and you have to put it on when you're still in bed, get up, do your routine, but don't go make yourself breakfast and coffee and answer a few emails and 3 hours later get back to your socks. So put on your garment in the morning, take it off before you go to bed. Janine had mentioned that she was to wear her garment 23/7, I think. That's really the only time you should be wearing compression to bed, is when you've had some kind of procedure and the physician has told you wear it to bed for to take effect of the surgery. I've had some people say, oh no, my massage therapist told me to wear it to bed. Well, it depends on what stage of your treatment you're at. Does anybody know why you shouldn't wear compression to bed?
Circulation, cut off circulation.
Okay, so when you're laying there, right, and you're in your cozy position and you've got a crease here and a crease here and you don't know, right, and you wake up with a blister in the morning, then we have another problem to deal with. The other thing is compression works by putting resistance on the outside of the limb so that when you're walking or doing your exercises or even typing on the computer, there's a resistance. So it helps propel the fluid up the limb. So when you're sleeping, unless you're running some marathon in your sleep, it's really not doing anything. Tell your fitter if your compression garment's not comfortable. It could be a fitting, it could be your size has changed, it could be the wrong fabric. It could be that you ripped it by accident, okay? I had a lady, she came in, she had this beautiful arm sleeve. She went to the physio, she took it on and off, she ripped it. Yeah, we're not coming to admit she ripped it, but it snagged. And so I phoned the manufacturer, I said, this is what happened, and we gave her a new sleeve. So things happen, you know, and if it's expensive, the fitter should be able to work with you and the manufacturer to help